Hi everyone, I'm Josh and welcome to Josh Wright Piano TV. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm excited to share one of my favorite practice tips that I use every day in my own practice and as well as my teaching. The concept is rhythms, and I'm going to show you today 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and we're even going to go crazy with 11, 13, and 15 rhythms. Okay, these are really intense. I learned 2 and 4 rhythms from my first teacher, Susan Duhlmeyer, who I just had a lesson with her 2 days ago. I'm performing in El Paso. If any of you want to join us this weekend, Saturday night at Chamizal, Chamizal. It's an all Chopin program. I'm going to be playing all the ballades, scherzo, grand polonaise, mazurka, and prelude. Anyway, so she originally taught me 2 and 4 rhythms, and then when I went to some lessons with Sergei Babayan, he's like, you need to be doing 5, 7, and 9 rhythms. And then I remember I was playing the Rachmaninoff variations on the theme of Paganini. That little thing, and he's like, I want you doing 11, 13, and 15 rhythms, and it would be such a shame if you didn't have the integrity to go through and do the 15 rhythms, because it's a pain in the butt. I'm about to show you guys. I want to quickly take you through every one of these. People often ask me, what are your favorite practice tips? And I have a whole webinar I'll link below with 10 of my favorite tips, but these are in that webinar. Rhythms are one of my favorite go-to fixes for basic technical issues. And I would say, finger staccato, rhythms, add-on, and then cycling and inserting gaps. That's kind of a combo, and that's in the webinar as well, if you want to check that out. Those 4, I think, fix about 95% of my issues. And then sometimes I'll have issues that need to be solved with some other practice techniques, but those 4, including these rhythms, are some of the best that you can do. Let's start with a basic 2 rhythm. Basically, rhythms are just taking little tiny portions of music and doing them in such a fast way that it prepares you for those fast tempos in very manageable chunks. So rather than trying to play your scale, we're going to do a B major scale, the friendliest scale. Rather than trying to and then maybe messing it up, you're just going to take 2 notes at a time. So you're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Couple of disclaimers before I show you 3, 4, 5, all those different other ones as well. You want to be really soft and light on your short notes. So if you're going 1, 2, on that first note, which is moving fast because it's going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you're going to be really light. And then on the long note, you can accent it slightly, but immediately let go of the tension. So see, my hand is very loose. And I want you to be doing full tempo just for those 2 notes. Do not go to such an extreme that you're doing, basically playing them together. Still have a little bit of separation, but... And if you notice that one of them gets sluggish, like if that one gets sluggish, you need to just isolate it and do it over and over again. That is great, but you need to do the opposite as well. So you need to do every variation of each rhythm. And the bigger the rhythms get, the more variations you have. With a 2 rhythm, there's only 2 variations, starting from the first note and doing the entire scale this way. Okay, and then starting from the second note. So just erase the first note and do. Now, some people will say, okay, it's just long, short, long, short, long, short, long. And you can think that way, but I like to just think 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keeps it easier when you get into the higher rhythms and just erase the first note. So all I'm doing that same 1, 2 rhythm, but I'm starting on C sharp. The reason you do that is there's different crossings when you start doing it from the C sharp. So this might feel really good. Trying to think of one. Like right there, that feels good on that one, but if you were doing that cross right there with the other variation of that rhythm, it might be harder. So it's very important to hit every variation of each rhythm, especially 2, 3, 4, and 5 rhythms. When you get into 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 rhythms. I would still encourage you to do all the variations, but it is very time consuming. And usually by the time you get to those higher rhythms, the passage is fixed anyway. Before I move on to 3 rhythms, I just want to say where you should apply these practice methods. These are very well applied on any continuous 16th note passage or 8th note passage or whatever it is. It's not good for when you have a lot of mixture between 8ths and 16ths or quarters. If you're stopping all the time, the rhythms are kind of ineffective because you've got to stop and think of your rhythm every 2 seconds. But it's good for fluid passages. So I'm working on the second scherzo right now. This would be a perfect passage because this is all continuous. Okay, so let's go to 3 rhythms, okay? We're gonna zoom through the rest of these because this is I don't wanna take your whole day. Here's 3 rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, starting from the first note. Oh, missed that one. Whoops. Hit that one again. Gosh. And you notice these are not perfect because I haven't warmed up with these at all. And these are brain teasers, especially when you get 5, 7, 9 and above. Those odd number ones are even harder, okay? 3 rhythms from the second note. Let's say they're not going so well, and I'm actually kind of hurrying through these, but I should say you can spend as long as you want on those long notes. And so forth. I would start from the second note. Start from the third note. And a lot of people say, well, why don't you start from the fourth note? But if you think about it, if I start from that E, 1, 2, 3, that's the same grouping as I had when I started from the first note, because 1, 2, 3, oh, my next group of 3 starts on the E. So it would just be redundant, okay? 4 rhythms. Starting from the second note. And so forth. I'm going to skip over all those variations just to save you guys time. 5 rhythms. Let's go through a couple variations of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, once you start to get 5, 7, and 9 rhythms, I really want you to focus on light, 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 light accent. So you kind of accent in like that, and then you relax your wrist back down, and then... And that was not very good. Okay, from the second note. And you have to choose your top speed. If you're trying to reach, 200 on your metronome, you better be flying through these. But you also want to make sure that your hands are aligned. I see a lot of students, I'll demonstrate up here, it's a little easier to hear. They'll go like this. That's absolutely terrible because that's clumping. So you need... And I'll just sit and redo each group until it feels really good. Okay? So I want you, starting from 5 rhythms, to be thinking in groups of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This will help as we get into 7, 9, 11, 13. Okay? So let's jump to a 7 rhythm. We're going to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Seven is actually quite nice when you're doing scales because you're stopping on the same note. Even if you start from the second note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or you can think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so forth, and go through each variation. For 9 rhythms, we're going to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Because 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'm going to lose count here. I better go slow through one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so I go to the E, the second one. And there's nothing wrong with just isolating that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And you can see if I went through every variation of 9, I'm going to have a really, really good understanding of that scale because I've stopped every 9 notes, but I've done 9 different variations of it, and I've been going fast on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then I'll stop on that 9th note. As we get into 11, 13, 15, I'm just going to demonstrate these slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So, okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So, what? I think I was here. I lost count. I would have to start again. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So, okay. And then 13 rhythms would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and so forth. And then 15 would be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3. Again, this is getting kind of ridiculous to do a 15 rhythm, but this is for the very tippy top level of accomplishment that you want to achieve. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So, and you would start from the second note and the third note. And you can see with the huge groups of 15, you're over with the scale pretty quickly, but you have so many variations that it's quite time consuming. So most people say, okay, you've gone through all these, there's no way I'll ever have time to do all of those in every piece. And I agree, you shouldn't have to do that for every single piece. This is mostly for tough passages, but I'd always start with a 2 rhythm. And if it's easier for you to think long, short, long, or short, long, short, long, short, long for those 2 rhythms, that's fine. And then I also like hitting 4 rhythms just because a lot of things are grouped into groups of 4. Or if I'm playing something like Winter Wind Etude that's grouped into groups of 6, I might get creative with my rhythms. So I might go, rather than, I would do I would do long, short, 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 long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, but you can also get creative beyond these basic rhythms. That's a 6 rhythm. We didn't go over that, just barely. But you could do. You could do 2 long, 4 short. Another one that I really like is 3 long, 5 short. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. I have to think about this one. 2, 3. Okay, that one really helped me on this etude. Again, Bob Ayan taught me that one, so all the credit of this video is probably due to him, as well as my first teacher, Susan Duhlmeyer, who's equally as brilliant in so many ways. I owe so much to both of them, and my teacher at Michigan, Logan Skelton. He's so brilliant too, but rhythms were really ingrained into me with Susan with the 2 and 4 rhythms, and then Bob Ayan showed me all the other variations, and really 5 rhythms, I would say. So I just got done saying 2 rhythms are where you should start, and 4 rhythms are really good too and friendly. But I would say for the trickier passages, jumping to those 5 rhythms and really making sure you get through all 5 variations, and then reassessing. If you need more help, then move on to 7. If you need more help after 7, go to 9, and so forth. So I use 5 as kind of the stopping point if the passage is fixed, and then I proceed on to 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 if the passage still needs some polishing up. This has been a long video. I hope you've enjoyed it though, and add this to your arsenal. You will not regret it. I've had students apply this and come back to me like, oh my gosh, this was like magic. My playing was immediately elevated. It doesn't mean you're going to play your passage perfect right away, but this can help you to get there. So again, I will link the webinar below if you guys want to check out my 9 other favorite tips along with these rhythms, and a couple of other links for my paid courses if you want even more help in your studies. If any of you have any questions, my email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Have a great week. Good luck in your practice sessions.